Hi there, I'm Deja and I'm making my dream Metroidvania about a fallen angel using her voice to climb up heaven's layers. In the last video, I showed off a Celeste-like platformer called Celine, with some pretty basic mechanics, but as the game grew, I quickly realised that I wasn't good enough to make it. So I took a few years off, finished school, got a job and travelled around the world a bit. All the while working on smaller projects for game jams to gain more experience. But now I feel I'm ready to begin, and I have lots to show of the development so far. I started my development by pinning down an art style that I wanted, since my first attempt was looking far too much like a Celeste ripoff rather than a game inspired by it. So I drew up a new character, and spent a few days designing this tree. In Silksong, one of my favourite games of all time, the player is constantly amazed by giant structures in the rooms they enter, and I want the player to have a similar feeling in my game. I want the environments to tell the story of the world far more than the character dialogue. In order to create this thematically coherent world, I started to plan out the main story and areas. Now that I had figured out the art style, I quickly realised that I want to change the story from just being about an angel in the sky, to being about an angel travelling up through heaven, like a reverse Dante. I wrote out rough designs for each layer, as well as Earth, which is where the player starts, and began to draw up the environments. First there was an earthly city of marble, where the player will start the game and learn all the basic mechanics before entering heaven, and having the map open up more. For this, I went for a Roman marble design, creating 3 different types of pillars and a couple of tile sets. I also wanted to design the fast travel location, which I had planned to be some kind of observatory, with a big orrery inside that rotates faster and faster before teleporting the player to the other place. I'm really happy with the design of this orrery, but it's very much only themed around the Earth layer, so I need to draw another one for every other layer of heaven. The next layer will be a great cavern full of magical blue liquid and dragon-like angels, and these weird little bugs that hold the liquid in big bulbs on their back. I had a friend design these creatures and I love their designs. The later layers I have only planned loosely and will expand on in later devlogs, but each layer will have a totally different look and new mechanics for the player to learn, as in Celeste, where each part of the map reveals a new platforming challenge like the traffic lights or golden feathers. I then started work on programming, and at the time had been enjoying playing Blasphemous, which made me want to add a weapon to the game, even though originally it was just supposed to be a Celeste-like Metroidvania. So I came up with an idea, a tuning fork sword that the player tunes to higher frequencies by hitting enemies or the ground, and can then cast different levels of spells depending on how tuned the fork is. I sketched some UI but didn't really like it.
Brother, what's that?
So I pinned that for a later date, and started work on drawing attacks and programming those. I also wanted there to be lots of styles of attack, which you could learn in the form of dances from this character Yuna. I made it so you could combo attack if you click fast enough, as well as damaging enemies. There's still a ton of work to do on this to make it look like you really break the enemy's neck when you hit them, like screen freeze and shake, particle effects and animation changes, but for now I'm happy with how it works. My next step will be working more on the environment, and I drew up this giant bowl full of magical blue liquid, this ocean scene, this chapel environment, and a gross sewer that will be part of the archives hidden underneath the marble city. I really like how all of these turned out, and over the next few weeks I'll be working on making them into proper levels to show off some of the other mechanics. I'm hoping to release Celine on Kickstarter sometime in 2026 before my parents kick me out of the house so I can work on it full time, so any support is greatly appreciated. There's a Discord link in the description if you want weekly updates on the project or you just want to see some more of the art. Thanks for watching and I hope to see you in the next video.